the next terrine we're going to talk about is a seafood mousseline. Again, a mousseline is prepared by using a raw base, usually a protein. Chicken is good to use, fish is very popular, shellfish like scallops is very nice. Usually a nice white fish like tilapia or flounder or sole is nice to use. So what I have here is the mousseline that has egg whites and heavy cream. Now we talked about a panada, a secondary binder, which you may or may not need. Just depends on how much protein is in the initial binder, which is the protein that's in the seafood or the chicken. Then there's also garnishes. There's random garnishes and there's inlaid garnishes, and I'm going to demonstrate both. First of all, we have our terrine pan that again is lined with parchment, and it helps it with cooking more evenly. It helps it to hold its shape during cooling. And I'm also going to take again the pastry bag and cut about a 1/4 size hole in the bag. Now for the random garnish that I have in this, I have diced raw shrimp and I have diced asparagus. So I'm going to do a layer, pipe in a layer. Again, make sure that you get flush to the corners and the edge of the pan so you don't get any air pockets while it cooks. I'm going to fill this roughly halfway. Also, you can see I'm working with keeping everything very chilled on ice. I'm going to take my offset spatula and smooth it out a bit to even it out. Give it a little bit of a tap. That helps remove any air pockets in case there is some. Now I'm going to do the inlaid garnish. The inlaid garnish can be prepared with a variety of things. I've used sheets of nori with strips of fresh salmon. For this, I use some vegetables that I had left over from the last terrine. I have some leeks, I have spinach in here, julienne carrots, and some strips of red pepper that I rolled up sushi style in some plastic film, and I chilled it. Again, it's very critical to keep everything very, very well chilled when you're working with these kinds of products. I'm going to take my roll and position it in the center, pressing down slightly. So random garnish is just that. It's randomly mixed throughout the mousseline. Inlaid, or centered garnish, as it's called, is specifically, strategically placed in the mousseline. Then I'm going to take the rest of my mousseline and place it around and on top of the inlaid garnish. Once again, I'm going to take my offset spatula, just smooth it out and even it out. Tap. Bring my parchment strips up and lay them right on top of the mousseline. Again, this will help prevent it from cracking while it's baking. Then I'm going to cover it with some foil. After I cover it with foil, I'm going to place it in a baking pan, and I'm going to fill it. I I'd say probably 3/4 of the way up the mousseline pan. Make sure that your hot water bath is heated before you pour it in. Always place your terrine in the pan before you pour the water in. Very often I will take the whole roasting pan and I'll actually put it in the oven, then put the terrine in, and then pour the water in. That way I don't have to walk through the kitchen sloshing water. This is going to go into a 300-degree oven, and it's going to bake until there's an internal temperature of 145 degrees, which could take anywhere from 50 minutes to an hour and a half. I usually check it after about 40 minutes to get an idea of the internal temperature to judge or calculate how much further it has to cook. And then once it's cooked, we're going to let it come down to room temperature, wrap it securely with plastic film, and also place no more than 2 pounds. I would even do less. I usually do lighter weights on the mousselines, and we're going to let them chill 24 hours up to 3 days before we move on to the next step. That's it for terrines. Next up is in croûte. Thanks.